Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have another pen here from Eric at Atelier Lusso in California. Now he makes these pens, they're all handmade by himself. Now this case here is just a very small plastic clamshell case or box. Let me open the lid, and the first thing you'll see here is an Atelier Lusso sticker and an Atelier Lusso business card if you want to contact Eric and would like a pen made from him. So let me move those out of the way, and you can see here this lovely pen. So let me remove it from its pen bed and remove the box. So this is a pen that I had that was made from Eric Atelier Lusso. Now, there's actually a funny story about this. I didn't handpick this material myself, but this was a pen that Eric had made for a pen show that he was going to last year. And I was actually having a number of pens made around the time of the pen show from Eric. And he made this, and I fell in love with this pen. And I wanted to buy it there and then, but I held off. I knew for some reason this would be sold at the pen show. But I thought, well, maybe I'll ask him to make another one for me. Well, Eric came back from the pen show, and this was one of a few pens that was never sold. And I was talking to Eric, and I said, by the way, you should probably remove this from your website. And he said, oh no, it hasn't sold. So at that point I said, okay, add it to my cart because of my order, because I definitely like this pen. And so even though I didn't handpick this material, I think you'll see why. If I zoom in, you'll see here, this is an Atelier Lusso Carina, and it's a diamond Nebula. Now this actually has real diamond dust in the body, in the material, and you can see here that this really does sparkle. So this pen is absolutely stunning to look at, and when it's under bright light you really do see it sparkle. So for me, this is a pen. It also has this lovely hammered clip on, which I really do like the look of it as well. So I think Eric did a very good job with this pen, and this to me was a pen that I decided I had to add to my existing order, and it arrived with a number of other pens, and I'm so glad that I added it when I did, because I love this pen. So I think what I'll do is I'll show you. This pen doesn't have any finial on it. Now, more later Carinas will have either an Alpha Lusso or more later still a dragon. It has this lovely hammered clip. Now, the cap itself tapers out to the midpoint and then tapers slightly in to these two cap bands. There's a little bit of step down here to the body, and then the body flares out slightly here and then flares in again towards the end cap. The end cap is just the material of the pen, so there's nothing there to see. Now in terms of size, I'll show you the size of the pen. So this is the size of the pen in my hand. You can see the crook of my hand there, that this is a large pen. Now Eric did put a lovely gold coloured nib on there, and I do like that nib. I think it matches with the trim quite nicely. It's a broad Yovo nib, and that's what I asked for. Now there is a slight step down here on the section, or a step there I should say. Now I personally prefer that because it stops my finger and thumb actually moving down onto the nib, but I know some people don't like that. There's also another band here. Now if I unscrew the pen body, I'll show you the filling mechanism. It's just a cartridge converter, and it's a Schmidt converter, and these are very reliable converters. But as you can see here, the size in my hand, this pen really is a lovely size. So for me, this is a pen that I do like in terms of size and weight. But you can see here, this body, this material really is stunning. So this is a pen that actually I do love in my collection. So I think let's do some size checks and weight. We'll do a pen comparison and then we'll do a writing sample. So in terms of length, the length of this pen, we're looking around about 145 millimeters in length. The cap is about 67 millimeters in length. And then the length from the tip of the nib is about 135 millimeters. So this is really bordering on an oversized pen. Let's do a weight check. So the full weight of the pen, fully inked, we're looking at just over 27.5 grams. The weight of the cap, we're looking at just under 13 grams. And then the weight of the pen body, fully inked up, we're looking just under 12 grams. So as you can see, that's quite a light pen, fully inked. So let's do a comparison with other pens. So from left to right, we have the Leonardo Officina Italiana, and this is a Momento Zero in the Positano blue. We have an Atelier Lusso Carina, and this is the Galaxy. We have an Atelier Lusso Carina in the Diamond Nebula. We have an Atelier Lusso Carina in the Black Ice, an Atelier Lusso Carina in the Amethyst Fields. We have an Atelier Lusso Andromeda King Cobra, an Atelier Lusso Andromeda Dragon, an Atelier Lusso Andromeda Tectonic Fields, an Atelier Lusso Andromeda Hurricane, and an Atelier Lusso Andromeda Vulcan's Forge. So let's do a writing sample. So this is an Atelier Lusso Carina, and it is the Diamond Nebula. Now it is a broad steel nib. Now the ink in here today is KWZ Gummy Berry. Now in terms of line variation, I mentioned it is a steel broad nib, so you are going to get a broad line variation. If I try to push the nib a lot harder, you'll see a little bit more, but it's really not going to a double broad. But you can see here, it's actually quite a lovely writer. It's very smooth. There's no baby's bottom, no skipping, no hard starting. Now in terms of wetness, now this is quite a light ink, as you can see. But in terms of wetness, this is quite a wet nib. Now I normally say that a fire hose nib is around about half the page onwards, and you can see here that this is really bordering on getting towards being a fire hose nib. It's not quite a fire hose nib, but it's getting there. It's quite a wet nib. And obviously the ink also plays a part of that as well, because some inks are more wetter, some inks are more drier. But for me, this is a lovely writer. I do love the Yovo nibs. I do love the broad nibs. I find that they write very smooth, very consistent. I do love this material in the pen, and I'm so glad that Eric hadn't sold this when he was going to the pen show, and he brought it back and I was able to acquire it. So this is a stunning material, and I'd like to thank Eric for this. So that's a review of the Atelier Lusso Carina in the Diamond Nebula. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.